Yeah, Troy, and it was a very well-coordinated raid. It was called Operation Backstaff, catching the owners and workers at Chuy's restaurants by surprise. Those owners accused of hiring a workforce of illegal immigrants, all in order to dodge hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. Customers turned away at the popular Chuy's restaurants today, closed for business after a raid by the IRS and ICE agents. Mark Evenson and his son Christopher, who own the restaurant chain, arrested, along with company accountant Diane Strehlow, accused of hiring illegal workers, all in order to avoid paying taxes to Uncle Sam from 2008 to 2010.
Kept about $400,000 from the federal government in tax revenue through the payment scheme that they engineered.
ICE Special Agent in Charge Matthew Allen says the Evensons would pay illegal workers who worked in the kitchen under the table with no taxes withheld or reported to the IRS. 40 suspected illegal workers were detained today during the raids. They're now being questioned. This employee was inside as the agents raided the restaurant on Indian School in Phoenix. She says there were 5 other employees working, and 2 that didn't have papers were taken in to check their backgrounds. Agents also gathering boxes of paperwork from the 15 Chuy's locations.
We believe that our investigation will document that the owners of Chuy's had full knowledge that they were employing illegal aliens.
And with so many workers now arrested and the owners behind bars, it's unclear when or if those restaurants will reopen. Those owners and the accountant are facing a number of charges, including tax evasion and conspiracy, and they could be facing decades in prison and millions of dollars in fines.
For nearly 3 decades with the Justice Department and immigration, Fox 10 immigration expert Neville Kramer joins us live.
Oh, this is completely different, Carrie. This is a huge problem for employers now, because it appears as though ICE and the IRS are going to be working together, and this is going to send a message to the employment community, especially those that hire illegal immigrants, that the times have now changed. For years we were precluded from working with the IRS, and now apparently that's changed.
You said people out there in the business community are going to be shaking in their boots, because this is basically the administration, Washington, D.C., saying either get with us on our immigration policy, meaning a pathway to some sort of amnesty and citizenship, or you could be next. Is that what this is really about? That sounds pretty political.
Well, I think there's politics involved here. I believe it's coincidental that this raid happened the day after the president had a meeting in the White House regarding new immigration reform legislation. But what this is basically doing is telling employers that if they don't get on board with the proposals, that we are going to hook up ICE and the IRS, and that is something that will send shivers through the business community, because this is something they have feared for decades.
Because before now, if you hired an illegal immigrant, you got a slap on the hand? Is that what's going on? And now all of a sudden the IRS gets involved and they're actually going to take your business away?
They could. They've done it many times in the past. And this is something where in the past ICE has gone in, they simply rounded up 15 or 20 illegal immigrants and deported them. And the IRS doesn't get involved. When the IRS gets involved, it's sending a signal that the big guys are coming. They can seize your entire business, and they can basically bankrupt you. So this is something the business community is going to be watching very carefully in the months to come.
So the IRS and immigration getting together hardly ever happens. They come together and they create a bust like we saw today at the Chuy's restaurants. How do they make something like this happen? You got to get a lot of information.
Well, I'm not privy to the inside workings of the case, but I'm certain they had one of 3 or all 3. If they had an inside informant, they had an undercover officer, or they had wiretaps, or some combination of those 3. And they got enough information to show that these employers were purposefully not only paying these individuals under the table, but probably fixing their income taxes to show that they had paid them, when in fact they had not paid either their income taxes or their Social Security payments.
So you think come tomorrow morning a lot of businesses are going to be a little more nervous than they were when they woke up this morning?
I have an idea the phones are going to be ringing off the hook, and the attorneys that do labor law. This is going to send shivers through the business community.
Neville Kramer, our immigration expert tonight. Thanks for joining us, Neville. Appreciate your time.